night. Joined now by Jason Porter and our guy Kyle Rode. Kyle, congrats on a great season. 15-3, that is absolutely nothing to scoff at. I don't know how people don't realize how difficult that is. Congrats on a great season, Kyle.
Thank you, man. Thanks so much for having me on. And yeah, it's been an awesome season, and looking forward to continuing it this week.
Jason, how we doing tonight?
I'm good, guys. How are y'all doing? I'm excited for the week. It's going to be a lot of fun, and Kyle, I'd echo Nick's congratulations here as we get going. I want to kind of jump into senior night the other night, man. What a lot of emotions and seeing you guys lined up across the floor. Blake getting a little teary eyed. That didn't help everybody for sure. But tell us kind of a two-part question if you don't mind. What were your emotions having Jessica out there and your family and celebrating that, kind of part one, and then part two? Would love to know what you're processing for next year. What kind of things are going through your mind? We don't want to get too far ahead of the game. I understand we got a lot of basketball left to play, but want to hear your thoughts.
No, super good, man. We all us seniors knew Blake was going to be the one to get teary eyed. Number one, I'll put that out there. But no, it's just such a special group. All of us kind of coming in a similar time, and just really being in a position to where we were the young guys learning from the veterans on successful teams, and then seeing how those guys left our program better than they found it, kind of really sparked us to want to do the same. I think that's the best part about being at Liberty is too, you got a family here and guys that are continually pouring back in once they leave, and something that I know this class is going to continue, whether that's leaving after this year or next year. And yeah, JP, just trying to really stay faithful to what I feel like God's calling me to do. Obviously, Jess in our life is super important in that, and trusting Coach McKay and what he has and what he thinks for me as a basketball player, as a young man, whether that means coming back or not. But really just staying focused on this last week. I've told people that it's almost giving you an appreciation, like having the perspective of not coming back. Like, man, this could be the last time doing this. And so just trying to keep that perspective of gratitude, but also knowing that the opportunity to come back is been made aware that I can definitely do that. So just super grateful for my time at Liberty, and it's been an amazing spot, man.
And if you don't go back, I'm hoping you'll come preach at my church and give me some more McKay quotes that we can use. Hey, Kyle, what was kind of the atmosphere on the bench when Darius kind of went cold in the first half against Queens? I know there wasn't any panic per se, but are you thinking of not only how you can contribute, but how to also get others to contribute a little bit more?
Yeah, I think anytime Darius shoots a shot, I think we all think it's going in. I think from our players and fans, and sometimes when it's not, we're more shocked than probably anybody else in the country. So honestly, the mindset stay the same. Make sure we're getting great looks on offense, making sure Darius is involved in the offense, and at the same time, we thought we were doing a great job defensively, making it tough on them, and we take away a couple of our mistakes. We feel like we have a 8-point lead going into halftime rather than 2. So the mindset really didn't change. And Darius, man, he's so mentally tough that he can miss 100 shots in a row, but feel like 101 is going in. And it's a testament to how bought in he is. I mean, I think he had 6 assists as well that night, and just did an unbelievable job distributing and staying resilient even on senior night when that can be super emotional. So
have you ever had a game like that, like in middle school or high school or AAU, where like just nothing was going down for you?
Oh yeah, I've had some offers, and even in college, where it's just like they feel good, they look good, they're not good, and it's just like you gotta keep finding ways to contribute mentally and other aspects of the game, because there's so many aspects, especially for us, that can contribute to winning, other than scoring. And coach preaches that all the time. So
Kyle, talk about that game on Friday night where you guys were down. It felt a little I don't know, tense. Felt a little tenuous. The fact that you guys were able to come back and you guys have done this so many times. I know. Coach Johnson talked about how you guys like lead the country in 10-0 runs or something like that. Does that give you a lot of confidence going into the ASUN tournament that no matter, how bad things might get, you guys have those games like even the Southern Miss game that you didn't win, you're able to go on these big runs. Just give you a lot of confidence for the tournament?
Yeah, that game Friday night, I mean, kudos to them. They did a really good job of trying to control the pace, and it can get so easy sometimes into falling into that flow of just, oh yeah, we're just, coach calls it like open gym kind of style, right? Where you're just kind of out there getting good shots, maybe not the best shot. You're playing defense, but you're not completely finishing the play. So felt like we did a great job responding to that, though. I feel like we can get stops at any time and then have an explosive scoring outburst. I mean, those are so helpful in a game, and at that point, with 10-0 run in college basketball can mean win or loss. So that's a really cool stat. I know Coach Johnson is a big stats guy, so that's pretty cool.
My man.
Kyle, it was pretty obvious too. I think the technical foul that was issued there was kind of an emotional tide that sort of flipped that game, and then there was a possession or two as well where you were visibly fired up and trying to get the team going and things like that too. How do you kind of gas and break that emotion side of things, man? Because it's tough when you've got to play within your restraint. And in fact, in full disclosure, I texted Kirby and said, man, emotions make great passengers, but they're terrible drivers.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So we say not too high, not too low, and really the game of basketball is a game of like passion, competitiveness. So obviously that's going to come out, and sometimes it comes out negatively and technically in the right way, and using that as a passenger. And I mean, JV and Zay and Shai did an unbelievable job on Die all week, and so I'm sure he was frustrated with that. But at the same time, we responded how we should respond and expect to respond. So did a great job of closing that game out on Saturday, even with a little adversity. So it was awesome.
So now you guys get to prep for the tournament. I'm sure that involves, watching some film and doing some scouting and things like that. As soon as the game is over, you guys pray, go back to the locker room. Are you guys watching the end of the Kennesaw State game? Or are you guys, going back watching some of the other, final games of the regular season? Or are you guys doing brackets and stuff like that? How does that work out?
No, it's actually, I think I've said it before too. Every game ends the same, win or loss. Coach will ask what we're grateful for. Just kind of a way to recenter and make sure we're not getting so focused in outcomes. But at the same time, we got a lot of guys that love hoops, and whether it's the ASUN or college basketball all around, we talk shop and watch other games. And it was weird being on a Friday night. You expected more games because when we play on Saturdays, there's games on all day. So, but yeah, it was super cool. Just the ASUN's been great all year, just to keep track with it, and so yeah, that's kind of how that flows.
Kyle, what's tomorrow night going to be like? Are you going to be in attendance for the game? How do you feel about that? Like two teams playing in your arena, and you play the winner the next day. What is that like for you?
Yeah, it's super unique. I don't think that's ever happened. Not since I've been in the ASUN. I don't think, for sure. And you get two programs that are both so respected in our league that are playing at Liberty. So I don't know how the broadcast and stuff like that works either for it, but I'll probably go to the game. I really respect both programs, and get to watch one of my old high school teammates in Carter play. And so I'll probably be at the game, for not only for scouting purposes, but so yeah, it's a pretty unique situation there, and it makes a lot of sense. So the travel for that would have been ridiculous. So
Yeah, it makes sense. It's an interesting, but it does actually make sense. One last question for you, Kyle. Walk us through Tuesday. As just a fan, Tuesday morning, I'm going to wake up sick to my stomach. How do you guys get through that you play all season, you have a great season, and it comes down NCAA tournament wise to one game. How do you get through the day on Tuesday? Do you sleep in as late as you can? How does that work?
Yeah, it's actually crazy. I think you guys might be more like nervous or for it than we are as players, to be honest. Because when you grow up, you play in so many of these games where it's win or go home, and I think you learn over the years that like if you whatever you create in your head with that, like the pressure you put in is the pressure that's gonna kind of flow out. So you're just making sure you're staying in the moment and just locked in at what you need to do, what you need to execute. I tell people all the time the best part about being at Liberty is the habits you create from day one are the habits you're going to rely on when it's winning time, right? So you're not asked to be doing anything different than you have all year. So you can really just trust that, trust in what God's plan has for you, man, and it's pretty unique. So I will be waking up probably around 9, going to first watch for breakfast, heading up to shoot around, and then it's almost game time a few hours after that. So that's my day on Tuesday.
Awesome, Kyle. Well, best of luck this week. We can't wait to get this tournament started, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again. Maybe celebrate another championship, but we'll take it one game at a time.
Awesome, man. Yep, one game at a time.
All
Hey,
right.
can I ask one question real quick, Kyle?
Oh, 100%, man.
You're very familiar with Carter, and there's a chance that you guys play them. I'm going to be at the game. Is there any kind of like inside heckling that I can do? Not to like get me kicked out or anything, but
No, not at all. I wish there was. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't give it to you either way, but
all class.
all good, man.
That's my guy. That's awesome.
All
I
right.
respect it though. I respect the fandom there.
All right, Kyle. Well, thanks so much. We'll be looking forward to this week.
Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, Jason, I've heard a lot about home inspections. Tell me about how important that is.
Yeah, they are pretty critical to the overall process. I think one thing that people forget about, Nick, in the home inspection process is they forget the fact that that is actually an exit ramp out of the contract. And I don't throw it out there flippantly with that, but what I mean by that is once you have that ratified contract and you're moving towards it, we schedule a home inspector. Those are certified individuals who come in, and their responsibility is to tell you all the good, bad, and ugly about the house. And then we formulate then at that point a list of 10 repair items, kind of a thing. And we go back to the sellers and we say, hey, we'd like for you guys to fix these 10 items that we found on the inspection list. And they come back and say, we'll fix 6 of them. And the negotiations begin. The great part about that is that, again, if you can't come to terms on that, if you can't come to an agreement with that, both parties can actually part ways at that point. So not only does it give you the peace of mind that you're buying a great property and buying a great new home, it also gives you a chance to step away from the contract if you can't come to an agreement. So it's an important thing in the negotiation process, something I do almost on the weekly. So be honored to help anybody out there through that process. But don't skip a home inspection, no matter how competitive the market is. It's super important process.
Awesome. Well, Jason, thanks so much. We'll be looking for you causing some havoc. We'll see if we can find some Carter Henderson taunts, and we'll pass it on to you if they're able to advance.
That'd be good. I was going to suggest Will could come and take his shirt off behind the goal during free throws, but I think that's already taken right now.
Too soon.
That
Too
won't be
soon,
happening.
Jason. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Jason. Have a great night, bud.